Here's what I'd like to say about L M Montgomery. She was a hero, an entrepreneur, a feminist. Not the new kind of feminist, but the type of feminist that believed that women had more to contribute to society than just cooking and cleaning, although she did those things as well. She was brave and courageous, strong, forceful. She was independent, yet had a family. She was a woman before her time, but she didn't let that stop her from becoming everything that she could. She is an example, a role model for every Canadian child. She created generational wealth before that was even a thing. Canadian author Lucy Maud Montgomery is an icon of Canadian fiction. You might know her better through her most captivating character, Anne of Green Gables. The themes of her novels are an adventurous girl coming of age. She tackles real-life issues that withstand the test of time. She has motivated and inspired generations of Canadians, women, and people around the world. Her books have been translated into 36 languages. She wrote 20 novels, plus numerous poems, essays, short stories. She lived from November 30th, 1874 to April 24th, 1942. Her mother, Clara Woolner Montgomery, died of tuberculosis when she was only 21 months old. Her father, grief-stricken, left her with her maternal grandparents, and although he stayed in her life for a number of years, at the age of 7, he moved out to Saskatchewan, to Prince Albert. From that point on, Lucy Maud Montgomery was raised by her grandparents in Cavendish, PEI, and that's where a lot of her stories began. Now you're probably thinking that someone that was able to accomplish all the things that she accomplished, that she had an easy life, but that's not the case. Her mom, as I mentioned, passed away when she was very young. She wasn't even 2 yet. Her father left her with her grandparents and almost abandoned her at 7, moving all the way to Saskatchewan. And although she did spend a year with her father and stepmother, she really craved a mother figure in her life that she could learn from and imitate, and that just was not how it worked out. Her stepmother, I don't want to say treated her like a slave, but she was not included or part of the family. And so she returned to Prince Edward Island. And then her father ended up passing away when she was 26. Her grandmother passed away after a long illness, and Maud had to care for her and was her primary caregiver for 13 years. After which point, Lucy Maud Montgomery married Ewan MacDonald in 1911, and he was a Presbyterian minister, and they moved to Ontario. She also lost a child who was born stillborn. She went on to have 2 other sons, but everyone knows that the loss of a child stays with you and is something that you never get over. So in spite of all these things, she went on to write 20 novels. And so I'm just going to go through some of the novels that she's written. Probably some you've heard of, probably some you haven't heard of. But these are just wonderful stories to share with your children or your grandchildren, or once they get old enough, they can read them themselves. But they're great, wholesome books that, as I said earlier, stand the test of time. So first off, we have Anne of Green Gables, then Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne of Windy Poplars, Anne's House of Dreams, Anne of Ingleside, Rainbow Valley, Ryla of Ingleside, The Blythes Are Quoted, and then she did a number of short stories. And then we have her Emily trilogy. So we have Emily of New Moon, Emily Climbs, and Emily's Quest. Then we have Pat of the Sugar Bush, Mistress Pat, The Story Girl, The Golden Road, Kilmeny of the Orchard, I'm probably saying that wrong, sorry, and The Blue Castle, which she actually wrote in Bala, Ontario, which is a beautiful little spot in Muskoka, and they actually built a small private museum there dedicated to her, and it's absolutely beautiful. If you have the opportunity, definitely take your kids there to see it. It's wonderful. Magic for Marigold, A Tangled Web, Jane of Lantern Hill, The Doctor's Sweetheart, Chronicles of Avonlea, Among the Shadows, The Road to Yesterday, and After Many Days. Now, Lucy Maud Montgomery was recognized around the world and by many other countries, however, not so much by our own, and I think that's a theme. So in 1923, she became the first woman to be made a member of the British Royal Society of Arts. In 1935, Montgomery was made a Companion of the Order of the British Empire by King George V, and was elected to the Literary Artistic Institute of France. For more than a year, the Anne of Green Gables manuscript circulated among publishers, and it was rejected 5 times. Now, most of us might give up at this point, but don't give up. Just keep swimming, and that's what she did. Now, Taylor Swift sings a song about being a man, and that despite her success, she still struggles to get people to take her seriously and listen to her ideas. Well, imagine how hard it was for Maud Montgomery to get people to take her seriously as an author back in that day. She lived at a time when women were discouraged from pursuing occupations. Sure, her job was to be a wife and mother, and that's all. Now, I don't actually like critics, because usually what they like, I don't like, and what I like, they don't like. And so Lucy Maud Montgomery struggled with that as well. She was criticized. Her descriptions were too long, but readers didn't listen. And through those long descriptions, she pulls you into the story. Somewhere among her prose, your imagination takes over, you get pulled into the settings, and you feel like a part of the story. She was masterful. The novels created an escape, both for her from her troubled life. As I mentioned before, she suffered a lot of loss, but her marriage was not exactly a happy one either. Her husband suffered from mental illness and depression, and so she was left with not only the lion's share of housework, but also child rearing and picking up some of his slack as far as his career went. And so on top of all that, she created these magnificent stories. So I believe it was an escape for her as well, but it's definitely an escape for the reader. You just lose yourself in the story, and it's wonderful. Her books resonate with people because they're so relatable. Everyone goes through struggles, growing up, falling in love, falling out of love, being hurt, being heartbroken, suffering loss and loneliness. And Many of her books are just built in this beautiful landscape of Prince Edward Island with deep blue water, red dirt, and green pastures. And because of that, her stories have stood the test of time. These are stories to read to your children, offer them to your older children to explore. Now, she has museums dedicated to her around the world, but many in Prince Edward Island. If you ever visit there, please go and see some of the museums. Even if it's not Lucy Maud Montgomery, there are quite a few that are, Anne of Green Gables. That's Anne with an E, if you know what I mean. And there's also ones in Toronto and the small one in Ballad that I mentioned. So those are great places to learn and become familiar with what her accomplishments actually were. For those of you that have read the stories, you'll probably fondly remember raspberry cordial. Well, this is the non-alcoholic version. It's difficult to find outside PEI, but sometimes you can get lucky in specialty gift stores, and you should definitely give it a try if you come across it. It's wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible Canadian icon, author, and innovator. If you've never read one of her books, what are you waiting for? Support Canadian authors. Buy a Canadian book today. I'm Sherry. I'm Canadian made. Have a wonderful day. If you're watching this video close to its release date, go check out my other video called What I'm Doing to Support Canada, and there's a giveaway. So go watch that video and hopefully you can get in on the giveaway. Thanks.